This video is about similar shapes. The two triangles pictured here are similar because the angles are exactly the same in the smaller triangle as the angles in the bigger triangle. And their sides, their corresponding sides, are proportional. What that means is one of the sides times some scale factor is going to be the length of the other side. And that scale factor is going to be the same for the relationship between those two triangles. So K, my scale factor, is going to be 10 divided by 4, or 2.5. Well, let's say I want to find the length of this long side here. Well, that length corresponds to the 7, the length of this triangle. So the new length of the larger triangle is going to be 7 times the scale factor, which is 2.5, and 7 times 2.5 is 17.5 centimeters. So that's the length of that side. The length of the remaining side is going to be 5 times the scale factor, and the scale factor was 2.5, and so the length of this last side is 12.5 centimeters. So on this slide so far we've learned how to find the scale factor using two known values. You have to be given or told somehow that they are similar shapes. You have to know that or be told that. Okay, so now when we look at these rectangles, I am told that the scale factor is 3. So given that short side of the small rectangle is 4 inches, I know that the length of the short side on the large rectangle is going to be 4 times my scale factor, which is 12 inches. And the long side of the bigger rectangle is going to be 6 times the scale factor of 3, and 6 times 3 is 18. So you understand, to go from the smaller rectangle to the bigger rectangle, you're going to multiply by the scale factor. To go the other direction, if you know the measurements in the bigger rectangle, you would divide by your scale factor. Well, let's look at the area and what happens there. The area in this small rectangle is 4 inches times 6 inches, or 24 square inches. We can't just multiply 24 times 3 to get the area here. That's not going to work. 24 times 3 is just 72, and I'll tell you now that that's not going to be the right answer. So let's try and figure out what it is. 12 times 18, base times height. 12 times 18 is 216 square inches. Well, how many times bigger is 216 than the original 24 inches? If you do 216 and divide it by the 24, you notice that it is 9 times bigger. Notice the relationship, or what kind of relationship can you see between a k equaling 3 and a 9? Well, it turns out that if I have the area here and I want to find the area there, the area of the original small rectangle times the scale factor squared is going to be the area of your new rectangle. So your scale factor is going to have to be squared for area. Now length, you just multiply the length by k. That's a one-dimensional kind of thing, length is. But for area, a two-dimensional kind of thing, you have to multiply by k squared. So on this problem, we don't know what K is, so we're going to have to find K in order to do anything with this. And then it tells me the original area and wants me to find the new area. Well, I know that whatever I get, I'm going to do the new area is going to be the original area times K squared. So we need to find K squared. This side corresponds to that side. So 5 times my K is going to be 8.6. So if I do 8.6 divided by 5, K equals 1.72. Now I can find my new area. All I have to do is the 50 square centimeters from the original shape times 1.72 squared. Order of operations says to square your 1.72 first and then times it by your 50. So the new area is 147.92 square centimeters. Volume. So area is a two-dimensional thing, and we multiplied by K squared, and length is a one-dimensional kind of thing, so we multiplied by K. So what's going to happen with volume? Well, it turns out that you multiply the original volume by K cubed. The first thing I need to do is find K. And the 3 inches corresponds to the 9 inches. So it looks like K for this problem is going to be 3. The bigger rectangular solid is 3 times larger than the small one. Now I am going to find the original volume here, and for a rectangular solid you multiply the area of the base, which is length times width, and you multiply that by the height. So I need 8 times 3 times 5. So the volume is 120 cubic inches. Now we could do this a couple of ways to find the volume over here, to find the new volume, but I think the hard way would be to find the new length by multiplying 5 times 3 and get 15, and multiply the base, the 8, by 3 and get 24, and then figure the volume. But it might be just as easy to multiply the original 120 times 3 cubed. Order of operations, cube the 3 first. 3 cubed is 27. Multiply that by 120, and the new volume is 3,240 cubic inches. That's how scaling works.